Women Krump Wednesday, where the women in Krump are celebrated for what they do so well every day. Because the women in Krump are buck in every way. On Wednesdays, we get bugged. Yeah.
Girls, who run the world? Girls. What? I'm a goon.
Hi everyone, I am Buckerfly and this is Women Krump Wednesday. Our special guest today is Simba, aka Lady Trxck, and some people know her as Kara. So she's from the East, and I really just am interested in learning more about her journey from a Krump point of view, but also her business stuff, like ventures that she's going on right now. So, yeah. Hi. All right. So, since I've been following your journey a little bit, you've been in 2 fams.
Yeah, so I've actually only been in 1 fam, but I've been in, I guess you can say, a crew and a fam. Trxck fam is my one and only fam, and I've been in DCX crew. So DCX was like my first time really having a big homie and a family aspect, and I loved it because everything that I learned from FUD, everything I learned from DCX, I still hold on to this day. I'm not gonna lie, I need to link back up with them and reach out, but I've just been really, really busy with personal stuff going on. And yeah, with Trxck and my fam, I absolutely adore them. They really have pushed me to grow in a creative sense. We have this whole Trxck mentality, and we always say Trxck shit and stuff like that, but it's really a mentality behind it. And it's one of those things, for me with the fam, it aligned already with how I feel about not just Krump and not just artistry and dancing and movement, but also how I see things in my personal life as well. So it was beautiful to see everything just whatever this represents. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. You do a lot of things, artistry wise. But okay, first I'm gonna focus on the Krump stuff because that's women Krump.
I'll get it.
But when did you start Krump?
So I actually officially started, I want to say around 19. The first person who introduced me to Krump was Jungle. And Jungle and I were actually in the same dance crew. So not crumping, but dance crew. And that crew was called Until Further Notice. And I remember I was just this little young 16-year-old just trying to really figure out dance and movement. And I always used to say oh, I'm about to dance with this person, I'm gonna be on this person's TV, this person's music video, just naming it off. And I remember one time, Jungle, he's probably gonna laugh if he sees this, but we were on a Krump track and we had a Krump workshop that he taught. And I really was just telling him yo, I really want to take this seriously. This is something I want to do. And at the time I didn't understand what Krump families were really. I had seen Rise and I had watched and stuff, but it didn't click to me actually what it was. And I told him, I was yo, I want to be in your little crew. And I called it a crew. I was I want to learn more about this. So, we would train and stuff like that. We were all in the same dance crew. So I was learning other styles as well. because I don't just crump, I do other styles as well. And then when the time came, I actually had to go off to college. So I stopped crumping, and then I came back recently at the age of 24, I want to say I officially came back. Because I came back home from Virginia after I graduated from Old Dominion. And I came back and I hit him up and I was like, I still want to learn, I still want to train, I still want to do this. So we still trained. And then I told him, I was like, I want to move to New York. And New York is really, I feel like, where I got into my bag a little bit. And it was really interesting coming back because I was like, this is not how I remembered it. And anybody who has trained with jungle knows that he's going to teach you first the culture, and then he's going to teach you the foundation. And so when I got to New York, I really wanted to understand and make sure that I was understanding the culture and what I was seeing. So I was always the one asking questions. I was always the one trying to figure out what was going on. And I really feel like I found my heartbeat again for Krump in the sessions. The sessions were always crazy at New York, like always crazy, always love, always live. Like it was bananas. And then I started getting into the battle scene and I was like, oh, I remember what the battlegrounds were like. Because when I was training, when I was younger, yes, I was battling, but it was always battling in like a session type of feel. I traveled a little bit to a couple of battles, unknowing to my mom, because I would just be like, yo, take me to like take me to VA real quick, northern VA, and I would come back and try to like make it to curfew. And then it was, once I got my permit and I got my official license, like it was a wrap. I was like, we're everywhere with it, like just because I wanted to soak it up. But yeah, I want to say I officially came back in, I don't even know what year that was. I want to say like 2018, 2019 or whatever. And ever since then, it's just been like going nonstop. I don't think I'm ever going to put Krump back down because Krump, honestly, and I know a lot of people say this and it may seem cliche, but Krump really does, like it really saved me because I used to be an asshole. I'm still an asshole sometimes, but like it really saved me because I had anger issues and I would lash out at people that I really genuinely loved and cared about. And, I went through some pretty dark times where I didn't feel I was understood. I didn't feel like people could relate to what I was going through or people understood what I was going through. So Krump and movement in general really just helped me to, for lack of a better word, save myself from destroying myself. So I definitely take it personal. I take this journey very personal, and I'm a very passionate person when it comes to anything in life. And specifically, I'm very passionate when it comes to movement because I feel like for me, movement is me being able to communicate when I can't find the words to say how I'm feeling.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So when did you begin your movement journey in general? Like not Krump, just movement.
Just dancing. I want to say when I was 3. And I remember because, yeah, I would say when I was 3. And I remember because usually around that age, like, so background story, my mom is a dancer and my dad is a drummer. Both of them are in corporate America, of course. So when I told them, I was like, I'm going to be a professional dancer. They were like, how are you going to pay your bills? So that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, I started at 3 years old and I started with African and jazz and ballet. And it was funny because I remember this memory vividly. I went into my ballet class and they put me in like the little leotard with the attached tutu and stuff. It wasn't the like stick out one, but it was still kind of like too girly for me. So I threw my ballet slippers and I left the classroom. And my teacher to this day, like I still stay in contact with my very first dance teacher, which is funny because now in my journey, I'm like, it's interesting for her to see how far I came, because she's like, you used to not want to dance at all, and now this is all you do. So yeah, I started at 3. All the styles that I do, I think are ballet, contemporary, dance hall, African, soca,
So
crump, obviously, hip hop, heels, a little bit of everything. Anything that feels good on my body, I'm like, let's do it. Let's learn about it. So yeah.
I feel that. That's nice. What's soca?
So soca is like whining dance hall. I'm also Trinidadian, so there's that. It's our music, it's our culture, it's the heart and the liveliness of the people. So it's like the whole whining thing. I did like a wine workout thing on my Instagram just to see what it would be like. So it's just a cultural thing.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain,
I've
but
seen it, but I didn't know what it was called. So, but I was like, I could sit here and act like I know it.
yeah.
But I'm like, I actually want to know. That's the purpose of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, my first question actually answered a lot of the other questions I was gonna add. You answered a lot of the other questions, which is great. I really love in-depth answers. So, what do you do when you're not dancing?
A lot. Currently, the reason I haven't really like been paying attention to social media is because, one, I don't have time. I'm building an entire business right now. So I do Forex trading. I have like 17 jobs, really. It's not okay. But I do Forex trading, and I've been building a team with that for about 3 months now. So right now I have 15 people under me that I manage of Forex traders. And I'm using that because down the road I'm using my one business, which is Forex, to fund my next business, which is going to be a performing arts academy. Hopefully in the South. I'm really looking at Atlanta. I think Atlanta would be really good for what God has placed on my heart to do. And so that's one thing that I do. That's just literally like one thing. And then I also work as a travel agent. That is my 9 to 5 position, and I do that overnight. So I do that as well. I also, when I have time, we're quarantined right now, so I don't really have the time. But when I have some free time, I also teach like youth kids in Baltimore and the Washington, D.C. area, just hip hop or any style that they really need me to teach. So that's another thing. And then I lab and I create choreography and concepts, because when I hear music, I see it as a story, as a movie, as a picture, whatever you want to call it. So when people will literally send me stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I think that you should do it this way, and like kind of tell a story that way. So I do that as well on the side, outside of just Krump. So I don't sleep. I don't know what sleep is. And when I do sleep, I hibernate. So that's pretty much that.
Why do you why do you fill up your schedule so much?
I don't like working for other people. So right now, I actually am grateful a little bit for this pandemic, because it's forced me to really take time for myself and slow down a little bit, because I'm used to constantly being like on the go all the time. So this pandemic has really helped and allowed me to focus on building my business and focus on resting and self-care and reflection, and also focus on creating and labbing, really. And it's interesting because I don't like labbing for a camera. I don't like performing for a camera. but I also do choreography and concept videos for a camera. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like for me, that crump feeling when I'm labbing should never be just directed towards a screen or a camera, which is why I don't do a lot of online tournaments and stuff, just because that it doesn't feel natural to me with Krump, because I feel like with Krump, it is a community, it is a family. So I need to feel that. And I don't feel I can do that when I'm labbing or I'm trying to session for a camera. It doesn't, no.
Understand. Yeah. That's definitely very different. Like I noticed that too. Like for me personally, like I can dance in front of a camera and like have fun, but like yeah, Krump is that feeling. It's
Yeah, it's not the same.
relatable. Like it's just only other Krumpers really understand. um okay. So as a woman in Krump or in business, have you had any difficulties or have you had any, I'm gonna say this, have you had any like what's the pros and cons? Like, have you had any like advantages from being a woman in what you're doing, and if there are any disadvantages that you feel you have experienced?
How raw am I allowed to be with it? Because, nah, all jokes aside, it's trying to figure out how to word this. Because, yes, there's advantages, but I also don't feel like we should pay attention to those advantages. I have had my run-ins with a few people, and I've addressed them. Those people know who they are. I feel like this at the end of the day. I don't feel it needs to be repetitive, like in terms of it always being something that's spoke on about being a woman. Yes, we understand we're in a predominantly male community, but I don't feel like when it comes to my talent, when it comes to how I move in this, when it comes to literally me existing and being hungry for the culture and being hungry for the education, we don't need to speak of my face. We don't need to speak of my hips. We don't need to speak of my attractiveness. All we should be discussing is what you saw in that footage in terms of, did you feel what the fuck I was saying? And excuse my language, but this is genuinely how I feel. Did you feel what the fuck I was saying? If you did, great. If not, that's also fine. Because here's the thing, I'm not dancing for the approval of you. I'm not dancing for the approval of anyone. I'm dancing because I have some shit to say, period. It shouldn't matter what my gender is, and it shouldn't matter what you feel about my gender. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be a woman in this, in and out of this movement. As a business owner, being a woman has been challenging because, of course, there's always going to be this glass ceiling. And just to put it in perspective, especially being a Black woman in business, especially when I show up to meetings and I'm like, hi, I'm Kara Halsey, I'm the CEO of such and such. They look at me like, oh shit, like she really about, yes I am. Yes, I am. And I don't feel I should be overlooked any less than a man. I feel like I should have the same opportunities sometimes when it comes to business specifically. Now I'm just speaking on business. And I don't feel that women need to be coddled. I don't know if that's the right word, but coddled in the sense of like, we shouldn't be afforded any less of the opportunities that are being presented to us. And then going back to Krump, I feel that sometimes we are very touchy, and not like physically touchy, but touchy in the sense of sensitivity when it comes to the women in this movement. I will always be down for my Krump sisters, and I will always be down for my Krump brothers. Am I going to look at it sometimes as a different thing? Yes, because I feel like men and women should have levels of respect, and at the same time should have different levels of respect. But I'm also not going to sit here and negate the fact that we're all grinding in this, we're all learning in this, we're all growing in this. And I don't think it needs to be pointed out that, oh, she's growing or getting these advantages just because she's a woman, or he's growing and getting these advantages because he's a man. Why? Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Because I could go on that topic all day, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Some people may have felt, I've gotten advantages or anything like that, but I'm here and I'm sitting here right now saying that anything that has been awarded to me, anything that has been gifted to me, has been because, one, God thought I was deserving of it, and two, because I've worked for it. I don't ask for handouts. I work for everything that I've gotten and that I've been blessed with, in and outside of my movement, in and outside of Krump as well. Same thing with my businesses, same thing with my personal relationships with people. I take it very seriously and I'm very passionate about it, because I don't like the feeling of this is just handed to me, because then it doesn't feel like it belongs to me or that I should be having it. So
I respect that. I feel that. Feel it. Nah, like for real though. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to ask that. I don't know. That's like one of those questions that I kind of ask a bit. But if you could add something to the Krump world, what would you want to add?
Bring back the individual. Bring back the individual. I feel that we've lost sight a little bit. And granted, I've been back only a year, so things have definitely changed. But when I say bring back the individual, I really feel like some of the things I see, I don't always comment because, one, I don't care enough to comment. But some of the things I see, it's interesting to me because I'm just like, y'all are sitting here so focused on the identity of that person in Krump rather than looking at that person. Y'all don't, and I'm not saying everyone does this, but I feel like people really don't sit down anymore and have that one-on-one conversation where it's like, yo, let me get to know you as a person. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a little sad because I'm like, you probably would understand this person's movement. You probably would understand this person's Krump so much better if you would just, yo, what's good with you? Like, all you got to do is pick up the phone. And I feel like we've lost sight of that, in the sense of fellowship, in the sense of individuality. We don't look at that anymore. And now everything is beefy buff talk. And I honestly, I understand it's part of the culture, but sometimes I just really be feeling like, why? All of this could have been settled if y'all had a conversation.
That's real.
Yeah. I want us to get back to that aspect of it, that the fellowship really, I feel like, is what's needed right now in the Krump community. Because I feel like we've lost sight of that, in the sense of, yes, you may be in a different fam than me, or, this man may be in a different fam than me, but at the same time, we're all in the same community. So I should be able to check on you, you should be able to check on him, she should be able to check on her, and we all should be able to still be good. Yeah. And be able to put our Krump beef aside, or our Krump egos aside, or whatever this foolishness is that people have. I want us to return back to that.
What is on your bucket list, your Krump bucket list? Things you want to do before, before you're not crumping anymore.
And we might be here for a minute then. No, honestly, I'm not even gonna hold you. I had to kind of throw my bucket list out of the window, because I started to put unrealistic expectations on my Krump, and on my movement, and it made it not fun anymore. So right now, all I'm focusing on is just being the Buckers or one of the Buckers females to come out of the East. Whatever that looks like is where I'm at with it. I want to do it not because I have to prove anything to anyone, not because I owe anybody anything, but because I have to, for me at least, prove it to myself that I'm capable of pushing myself to be a student of this game and to be a student in this community enough that my language in Krump, what I'm saying to you in Krump, my feeling in Krump, you feel me before I even have to open my mouth. And to me, that's the definition of buck. I should be able to enter a room and move, and you already are like, I don't know who this chick is, but I feel her. If you can't feel me, then I feel like I haven't done my job for the day. So I would say in terms of my bucket list, that's really the only thing on it. I just want you to feel me, honestly, and to be one of the Buckets women out of the East. I got a couple other things on there that probably will happen a little bit later, but it's not like a bucket list type of thing. Like if it happens, that's beautiful. And it happens because that's what God aligned it to be. And it just so happened to be blessed on me. But it's not something where it's like, oh, if I don't hit this by this year, like, nah, I'm honestly, I'm honestly just enjoying my journey and where I'm at right now, because I really just want to absorb and soak up as much as I can. And I know a lot of people say that, but for me, that's the biggest thing. If I'm not constantly growing, if I'm not constantly learning, and I'm not falling in love with my movement every single day in some way, shape, or form, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
I feel that. All right. So is there anything else that you would like to discuss that I haven't asked about?
No, no. Yes, but no, because people be on my head about stuff, and I just be like, I just want to live and do my thing, but it is what it is. It's
Okay.
Interesting to see.
Are there any shout outs that you would like to give? Words of appreciation to anyone?
Yes, I'm always going to thank my fam. Thank y'all for allowing me to be a part of the family and for pushing me every day to be the best me I can be. Not only as Lady Trxck, but also as Simba, also as Kara. Shout out my brother, because he be on my head a lot and he pushes me a lot. So shout out Anu, because yeah, that he knows why. He knows why. Who else? Shout out DCX, because y'all have held me down since I've been back in this, and I've learned a lot from you all, so I really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting my growth into my fam, so I really, really, really appreciate that. Shout out Fud for that as well. Of course, shout out Trxck and like the fam and stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't really know anything else to share. Honestly, like, I'm not even gonna hold you when this is all over. I'm just excited to see these battles that I have lined up. There's a couple of people that want some rounds, so we can get it going. And I'm excited to session more so, honestly, because I miss people. I miss that exchange of energy and feeling that energy in the sessions. And I honestly can't wait to continue to see people level up. Like, your growth, bruh, is crazy. I remember when I first saw you, and to see you now where you're at and your footage and like winning Benito's challenge, I was just like, who is this chick? Like, so I'm excited to see your growth. I'm excited to see my growth. I'm here for everything. I'm here to support this movement. Like I said, I've never been one to be about Krump beef or have any Krump beef with anybody. I'm just ready for us to continue to move up and grow and push. So yeah.
So before all the coronavirus stuff, me and you were supposed to battle. And I was like when that date passed, I'm like, I was supposed to be in California. Like
I was so annoyed. I literally looked at my ticket and I was like, bruh, I'm supposed to be in Cali right now. Like, man, but we're still gonna get it. I hope you know. We're still gonna get it. We're still gonna get it.
I'm
And it's gonna be it's gonna be beautiful. And that's the thing, like people be like, Simba, you gotta talk beefy. And I'm like, but I don't got no beef. Like, I don't eat red meat. Like,
Bill. No, I'm just kidding. Next though, like I was like, I don't even know. Like I actually like I know how to do this stuff. Like if I really like wanted to, I know how to. But it's just like, why? Like, but then also like it was kind of fun to like try to experiment with.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though like it never came out. Like our thing never came out because virus and stuff.
Out here being ghetto. But no, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, okay, now that I remembered, because I have the attention span of a squirrel sometimes, I really want to understand, and this is something I still don't understand, like where does the line get drawn between personal talking spicy and crump beefy talk? Like I feel like that line gets blurred a whole lot.
Very thin.
It's real thin. And I just be like, but you brought up his kids and his wife, and that ain't got nothing to do with Krump. Like I be real confused.
Now I think y'all gonna have to fight. This ain't no Krump stuff. No.
You feel me? Because I know for me, and that's another reason why I personally don't do beefy talk, because if I genuinely feel some type of way towards you, my mouth be reckless. I know my mouth is reckless. The reason I know that is because I had anger issues back in the day. I still am a work in progress. You feel me? So I know when I see stuff that I don't like, and I know that this has to do with something personal, I just be like, let me just refrain and not say nothing, because I don't feel it's needed for me to say anything. Because now, and this is another thing outside of Krump, but I don't feel people should be able to take you out of your character ever. And I really feel like sometimes with the Krump talk is people pulling them out of character. And I'm like, but that's not even you in real life. Why you flexing for the book? Like, like you over here talking spicy, and the whole time you a giant ass teddy bear. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, yeah.
So, since there's no more questions and there's nothing else that Simba would like to acknowledge or anything,
Nope.
then this is us signing out. So, again, this is Women Krump Wednesday with Buckerfly, aka Lady Moody Rex, and our special guest, Simba, aka Lady Trxck, aka Kara Housley.
Yes.
All right. So, bye everyone.
Bye.
Love, stay buck. Yeah.
Love on someone today.
Yeah, love on someone
it.
Distance wise, but love. Spread your love through social distance.
Yes.
All right. Women Krump Wednesday, where the women in Krump are celebrated for what they do so well every day. Because the women in Krump are buck in every way. On Wednesdays, we get bugged. Yeah.